서커바이러스와 마이코플라즈마를 한 병에 호실리스 PCVM.
In Korea, the shower, there is no cubicle. So I'm not used to it seeing somebody taking a bath naked. So I'm just like, and in Korea, you're very safe in the library and it's very silent. That's why I don't go to the library. Because when I go to the library, I can hear my heartbeat. It's a little bit, I'm not used to it. 안녕하세요. 저는 도밍게스 조지입니다. 반갑습니다. Hello everyone, I'm Jorge Michael D. Dominguez from the Philippines. I'm an assistant professor from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. And currently, I'm pursuing my PhD degrees in animal science under the field of animal genomics. I came to Korea because there's a collaboration between KOICA, IRI, which is International Rice Research Institute, and my university, the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, to establish a agri-genomic center in my university. So the University of the Philippines, Los Baños is the national university in the Philippines, and we have different campuses all over the Philippines. For my university, which is the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, it focuses more on agriculture, forestry, and biotechnology. But other universities like University of Manila, it focuses on medicine. University of Visayas, they are more focused on fisheries, and University of Diliman, which is our flagship university, it has more specialization compared to other constituent university. Strikes me the most difference between the Philippines and Korea when it is exam week. In Korea, I can see lots of students going to the library, and the library is open until, I think, until midnight. But in the Philippines, usually the library closed at maximum 6 p.m. So we need to study somewhere in the cafe or in our house. If you're outside the university in the Philippines, it's a little bit scary, some sketchy guys in the cafe. But in Korea, you're very safe in the library and it's very silent. That's why I don't go to the library. Because when I go to the library, I can hear my heartbeat. It's a little bit, I'm not used to it. And then, so in Chumbok de Hakyo, we have university cafeteria that is the price is okay and the food is okay. But in the Philippines, we have cafeterias, but it's not that good, unlike in Korea. And that's one of the things that I want to have in the Philippines. Okay. When I first arrived in Korea, I was living in a dormitory, international dormitory. It's two-person international student. I like my roommate, but I was just culture shock about it because in the Philippines, we have communal toilet, but in Korea, the shower, there is no cubicle. So I'm not used to it seeing somebody taking a bath naked. So I'm just like, and what I find weird in Korean dormitories is that you need to clean every semester and move. Even though you're not moving out, you need to clean and pack your things, and then the dormitory manager will check. It's very tedious. So I opted to go outside for more conducive living, and I get tired when I pack my things over and over again. Okay, what aspects of living in Korea? I really like the transportation. If I want to go to some place, I just search for Naver map, and it will point the bus number and the time. And what I love about Korea is the punctuality of the transportation. When it's a 12:10 bus, it will start going 12:10. And then it's very easy to navigate using Naver. And second thing, I like also the healthcare. At first, I was shocked that as a foreigner student under a scholarship, we are required to pay health care insurance. It's quite expensive for us, but when I got sick, I just go to the hospital and I just pay a little amount for the medicine and the consultation of the doctor. Unlike in the Philippines, we will wait for a doctor's consultation like 1 to 2 hours before our turn. But in Korea, you just need to wait at most 10 minutes. That's what I love about Korea, the transportation and the healthcare. Yeah. Because of the Korean wave or Hallyu wave, I'm familiar with Korean culture. But when I arrive in here, it's during transition between winter to spring. So it's quite cold and lonely when I arrive in Incheon. And since I cannot speak Korean, I'm very shy. So one problem that I encountered is the language barrier. But for the culture itself, I don't have any difficulties aside from the language barrier itself. But I don't take it against the Koreans because when I ask them, why are you not speaking English? Even though Koreans are required to have English tests to go to university, right? So they told me they are just shy to talk in English and they are thinking that we might judge them. But I told them, your English are good. So why are you not proud of speaking in English? And as an international student, we can have like a language partner like that, and we can practice. You can also teach me like Korean language, but they are still conscious about speaking in English. But I find it many Koreans, when they speak English, they are very good, and I can really understand the accent. For food, I'm also exposed to Korean food in the Philippines. Before coming to Korea, my favorite dish is sundubu jjigae. But when I arrived in Korea and tasted several Korean dish, I like the cold noodles, naengmyeon, with some gogi. At first, I find it very weird, but when I ate it many times and during summer, it's so 맛있어요. It's nothing like in the Philippines, the cold noodles. At first, it's very weird, but as many time goes by, you will love it, I think. In Korea, each professor has their own laboratories and only one professor for that field. But in the Philippines, let's say for my field, animal breeding, I think we are 5 professors under the animal breeding division, but we don't have our separate laboratories. So what I love about Korea, about their research, is that each professor can do its own research in their laboratory. So it's very efficient, I think. And in Korea, you have this internship, which they can just go to the laboratory and just do whatever things that were going in that laboratory. But in the Philippines, when we do our internship, we need to go outside and we need to talk about the companies, and it's a very well structured and there's an expected outcomes and everything that doesn't reflect the real life. Students can just go to the laboratory and experience what's the actual research being conducted rather than like a laboratory or laboratory lesson setup. Yes. And then I find it very amusing that the procurement process in Korea is also very fast. So I was aware that some of my colleagues that graduated from Korea, that Korea has its polyculture very fast. But when I experienced the polyculture, I was shocked about when I ordered some chemicals today, it can arrive tomorrow or the next day. But in the Philippines, the procurement process there takes months. So because of lots of bureaucracies and unnecessary processes that should be taken out. And then in Korea, the supply chain for biotechnology is well built. So if you need something, you can get it in Korea, they can produce it in Korea. So that's what I love researching in Korea. But as an international student, again, the language barrier between the laboratories and the suppliers. So for my case, sometimes the suppliers are not speaking in English. So I think that's one of the struggle in communication. But if your laboratory as an international student has lots of international students or Koreans that can speak in English, it's very good opportunity to go to Korea for research. Some of the Korean system, the efficiency and the polyculture in research, I want to copy that to the Philippines. It's very efficient. So for the pork, if you will search Filipino dish, you will see the top 3, the adobo, the sisig, and the sinigang. All of those 3 dishes are pork-based. Whole agricultural production, number 1 production in the Philippines is rice, followed by pig production. Pig production followed by chicken, some beef, and dairy. But if you will combine the production of chicken, dairy, and beef, it is equal to the pig production. So pig production is quite big in the Philippines. When we discussed pig or pork production in one of my courses, one topic there is Filipinos are pork eaters. And then for our indigenous people, pork plays a very important role. For example, some tribal communities in the northern part of the Philippines, they have these cultural rites. They will sacrifice black pig. So they don't use commercial pigs because they are white. They use our native pigs. And then, northernmost portion of the Philippines, they use pork for fermentation. They called it lunis. So they ferment it on its own fat. So they are stored there, and then if it is during lean season, they cannot harvest some foods, they will use that lunis. So I think pork or pig culture or pork culture in the Philippines is very big. So right now, the government is supporting the development of our native pigs. So each island, major island, establishing their own native pig breeding herd. So one of those is the Batanes native pig, which I'm part of developing the Batanes native pig. So the Batanes is, if this is the Luzon, this is Taiwan. The Batanes is the small island in between. So it's a very isolated area, and their food are mostly coming from the Luzon, and province wants to have more sustainable production of pigs. That's why we are collaborating with their local state university to develop their own native or indigenous pig breed.
The white pig?
Yeah, it's not the white pig.
Black?
Yes, it's like Jeju black pig. So I envisioned that Batanes native pig to be like the Jeju black pig with high marbling. For the Batanes native pig, their major market is not for lechon, but for the lunis production. So they need lots of fat and marbling. So I think a good model for this one, I think, is the Jeju black pig. That's why I pursue my PhD degree in Korea because of Professor Kim, my current professor, because he is a very well-known animal geneticist when it comes to pig breeding. So under his supervision, I can learn some techniques on improving the growth, the meat quality, and the reproduction of our native pigs. If I would recommend places to go to the Philippines, avoid Manila, because as a local or as a Filipino, we also avoid Manila. But if you want to go and explore Philippines, you should go to the rural areas. Right now, Cebu is one of the top destinations for Koreans. But if you want more serene and slow-paced, there's a direct flight from Bohol Island. Bohol and Cebu are nearby island. If I will choose, I would rather go to Bohol. There's a chocolate hills and a nice beach. And it's a much more peaceful and more cheap to go to Bohol. Aside from swimming, beaches, I would also recommend for them to just have a friend with the Filipino people. We are not scary. So one of the key characteristics of Filipino people are we are very warm, we are very hospitable. You just happen to bump with a Filipino guy, just chatting, we will consider you as our friend. Just one meet-up, we can have a bonding and we will treasure it forever. That's a Filipino way. Okay, for the goals. So after, it's a big question. So after graduating my PhD, I want to continue my collaboration with my professor, just exchanging ideas. For my students, I want also my students to experience the research in Korea. So I'm planning to build more also connections with Korean people for research and for internship for my students and also for friendship. Yeah.
Say hello to your family or just the professor's kid, something like that.
Okay. Hello, Professor Kim. Thank you for accepting me and guiding me in this journey for my PhD study. And hello to my family and see you soon.
Sure.
Yeah.